I've been reflecting a lot on my 2025, and I watched some of my videos from this year, and I realized I have this bad habit that I've tried to coach myself out of, which is that I tend to take a big breath in before I start talking on camera. And like I said, I tried to coach myself out of doing that, but I value that breath and that air so much that I really try not to stop myself from doing that now. A lot of what mattered to me in 2025 came down to air, believe it or not. One of the most important lessons I learned about air was from a chicken this year. We lost the last of our chickens that we got during the pandemic. Her name was Henrietta.
Henrietta, someone's acting a fool. What should we do? What should we do?
And the thing about Henrietta was that she actually was supposed to die right away. She was very sick when she was a baby, but we nurtured her and we saved her, even though her sisters abandoned her to the side of the box. And she ended up outliving all of them. I think people don't realize how smart chickens are, and it was wonderful to have them, and I learned a lot. I'm thinking a lot about Henrietta because I just made a video about the veterinary care system, and we spent $1,000 to take a chicken to the vet, and the vet told us that they would have to put her down because she wasn't going to make it. And we said no, and so Henrietta came back home, and she lived another year in a lot of joy and happiness, and she did great. And I know a lot of people would think that was dumb, but I want to tell you that it was worth every single penny. Really, it was. And I know a lot of people couldn't be in that place. And if I'm being honest with you now today, we probably couldn't do that same thing today now. And if I'm not clear enough, I want to say that part of the reason we were able to save her for another year was because you've watched my videos. And I just really want to say thank you for that. On Henrietta's last day, I knew that she was going to die. I could tell from the way that she was breathing. And I spent as much time with her as I could that day. I did not go to work in the morning. I took her for a walk around the block, and I sat with her in our park of our neighborhood, and I let her just look at the park, and she was very peaceful and very quiet. And chickens have a lot of control over their feathers. It's just something like all birds do. And I remember watching her after I put her down, and her feathers were blowing in the wind because her body could no longer hold them into her body. But she was still breathing, and I saw the wind and the feathers and her breathing. And what I realized was that with all of her strength, what she was trying to do was to breathe and to stay alive just a little bit longer. She was using all of what was left of her to breathe. It might sound funny to you, but that chicken taught me a lot about life, and she taught me a lot about death. She passed very peacefully and very beautifully. But as I was watching her, and I watched for a while as I was watching her breathe and watch her lose control of her feathers, and the wind was blowing her feathers, I realized we all breathe the same air. All of us. We all breathe the same air, and it is what we do with it that matters. So I am proud of that breath in that I take. I am very proud of that. And I'm proud of what I do with that breath and how I use my words. Remember, when you go, it is your last breath. That's what they say, your last breath. Now, as we enter 2026, I'm fighting a government that is trying to silence my breath, my voice, and technology which is polluting our air. Most people don't know this, but when American bombs fall on foreign soil, it is not metal or shrapnel that most often kills people. It is concussive air, overpressure air. It ruptures your eardrums. It damages your internal organs. It is air from American weapons that does that. We all breathe the same air. It is what we do with it that matters, and what it does to us. I will be using this air to fight for as many people as I can. I know 2025 was a difficult year for a lot of us, but I believe in 2026 we can find each other and we can fight. But most importantly, we can breathe and live. Some people believe that they are more entitled to more air than the rest of us, and I want you to know that that is simply just not true. It belongs to all of us. We are all essentially on a life raft floating around the universe. Thank you for giving me a chance to have a purpose and to fight for you and to try to make a difference. Thank you for letting me be myself. Thank you for letting me try. Thank you for letting me breathe. I hope you have a good new year.